classic electric. Does he know how to play? No. But Nick's Empower investment account has performed well. He got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risks. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. This is a really good guitar solo.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Men, this is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. The one you love is the light of your life. And if you're like most of us, you want to do whatever you can to nurture your relationship. But if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction, you know the impacts the condition is likely having on you and your partner. ED is a relationship destroyer. It can contribute to depression, distancing, conflicts, and even breakups and divorce. And what's so disturbing about this is that most men who suffer with ED can be successfully treated, but a lot of guys don't seek treatment when they should. At Tri-State Men's Health, we have protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases. In fact, if you're like most guys, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and maybe find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. So call Tri-State Men's Health today. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Truth of the matter is, you're listening to Rothman and Ice on 97.1 The Fan.
All right, we welcome you back. Rothman and Ice, our favorite time of the week. Dan Dockich, Don't At Me on Outkick. And, of course, the Indy Sports Ticket. How you feeling, brother?
I was telling you, man, you know how when your kids do well, so Ryan Peden, former Ohio State assistant coach, Andrew Dockich, former Ohio State player, they got a massive win last night against Bradley. And so I am doing great. In fact, when you guys called, I was under other line to, as we call him, Junior. And Junior was very happy, which means I'm happy.
Very happy for you and Junior. That brings me to this then. I always thought that I could count on betting college basketball or college sports more than pro, and I'll give you my theory on that. Because I believe there's less parity in college. So I would think, predict college outcomes better than the pros because the worst team can beat the best team in the pros. But I'm starting to feel like I can't count on the college kid anymore. Where are you on that?
It's funny you say that. I was talking to Brad Underwood on my morning show, and he's like, man, we were so sick when we played Wisconsin and blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, man, it just brought me back to when you're coaching in college, you don't know your team. Lou Holtz said it right. The team you had yesterday isn't the team you have today, and it's not going to be the team you have tomorrow when you're coaching in college. But I'm with you. Like, you'll see things happen in the pros, and you're like, well, how the hell did that happen, right? Like, I don't know. A lot of people just simply answer it with, well, those buildings in Vegas keep getting bigger, so you're stupid to bet. I don't look at it like that. I think betting on college is easier, but there is a reason those buildings are getting bigger, not smaller.
No doubt.
There is.
That's real. Double D. Bucks back in action. They take on Northwestern. I don't want to ask you specifically about that game, but specifically about Ohio State and a couple guys. Between Micah Parrish and John Mobley Jr., who, in your opinion, needs to be the X factor, that third option, because these guys are right around 12, 13 points apiece. But when you look at what they bring to the table, who do you believe is the most important X factor between the two?
Well, at this time of year, against good teams that are battling, you both have to play. But Micah Parrish, to me, needs to, what's the right word? Come on is one of the words, do things that are all-around player things. 9 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist against Michigan. That's not good enough when you had 30 a couple games before, 21. Game right before that in a nice win over Washington. Every guy that I've ever talked to that's coached will tell you the same thing. Man, it's great we got schemes. Yeah, we run something, but it's players, not plays, particularly in big games. And Mobley is who he is, but I think Parrish, with his size and kind of overall ability, needs to become a guy, not just a jag, just another guy. He needs to become a guy, a real guy, and he's not the only one. Like, that doesn't mean that Mobley or anybody else can. No, but when you have that kind of talent, that's what you have to do at this time of year. Because let's face it, Ohio State, they need this win. Who gets the win? Yeah, coaching, and I know people always point to coaches, particularly when you lose, but dude's got to play, man. I mean, like, I'm watching Alabama play Auburn the other night, and dudes are just making plays. And I'm not even sure I can name any of them, but this guy's making plays. So 9 points, couple of rebounds, that ain't good enough. This needs to be a guy that's in the 15 to 25 range with 5 or 6 rebounds, 3 or 4. I mean, whatever. And that's what you got to do. And Mobley's got to make shots.
Hey, when you were coaching, did you ever say anything to your team about, hey, this is how many games we have left, we got to win this one, or we got a tough road trip coming up, so we got to get this one at home? All I hear is coaches in front of the mic, and it's probably right, saying, hey, we're the basketball game we got in front of us. That's all we talk about. That's all we work on. But did you ever publicly say to your team, hey, right now we're on the bubble, or right now we're close. If we want to get in this thing, we got to win this many out of this many? Would you ever dare look ahead with your own team? Not publicly, but with your own team.
In 2000, we won the MAC. First time Bowling Green had won the MAC since like the early 80s. And we lost to Toledo. And I was a maniac. They expected me to yell, scream, all that stuff. But I got back, and I had a veteran team. Player of the year kid named Anthony Stacy, and we had a veteran group. So instead of yelling and screaming, I simply wrote on the board the 6 games we had left. And it started with a home game against Western Michigan. And I said, okay, here's the 6 games we have left. We've openly talked about winning the league is one of our goals. To win the league, you're going to have to win 4. To win the league outright, 5 or 6. I said, so, this is what we have. You guys are old enough. You've been through the stuff. And we won 6 in a row, and we won the league, And, I did that, and then I did it in 2002 when we knew we were on the bubble. Kent had a great team. They went to the Elite 8. But I had some veterans, and I said, okay, here's the deal. We are on the bubble. We want to make the tournament. Looks like Kent's going to win the league. But here's what we have to do. And we did, but we lost one of the games in the middle of that when we were up 18. And so, yeah, I mean, particularly now, kids know. Mm-hmm. Kids are following it. Kids that care. Some kids don't care, but kids that care, they're following all this. They watch Lenardi, or they watch whoever's, the CBS guy or the Fox guy. Yeah. I've asked Coach this. I've asked a lot of coaches that, and their answer is yeah. But they always preface it, rightfully so. The focus has to be on this particular game, or everything else, goes haywire for you. But yeah, I wish I'd done it more now that I think about it. Hell, we won the league, and I did it. I should have done it at the beginning of the year now. Dang.
I want you to keep your coaching hat on and play a little fantasy basketball with me. I'm giving you a clean slate. You got 5 slots. You got a starting lineup right now that has nobody in it. I'm giving you the first overall pick of all the college basketball players in the world right now. Who would be your 1-1? Who are you starting with when it comes to creating a starting 5?
I think I'm going to take that Broom kid from Auburn. Yeah. I do. I think he's from Morehead State. And again, Bruce was on my morning show, and he's humble. He affects the game. He plays when he's hurt. I'd take Braden Smith. I would have taken him a lot more a week ago, before the last couple games. But I I think that Broom kid, Ice, man, I kind of dig watching him play. And then there's a kid, I think his name is Rice at Maryland. But and I hate to stay, all Big Ten guards, but you know how every time you watch certain players, sometimes you don't understand why people think they're so good because they're not very good when you watch, and the other time they're like, "Damn, is that kid good?" I think his name might not be Rice. He's a guard from Maryland.
Rodney Rice. Yeah, Rodney Rice.
Yeah. Hey, every time I watch that dude play, man, he is killing. He's like this light-hitting shortstop named Chris Spire that used to play against the Cubs, and he batted like 210, but he'd get 2 doubles against the Cubs. I'm trying to think of who else I'm digging right now. Oh, I'd take that. No. Erase all this. Cooper Flagg, I'm taking him first in the NBA. I forgot. What am I talking about? I'm taking him first. Who just told me they hope he stays in college because he'll transform the college? He's the best young prospect I've ever seen. And I think I remember Magic as a freshman. I went to Isaiah's games as a freshman. That's the best young prospect I have ever seen in basketball. So delete, delete Broom, no Broom, Broom second.
I don't think the Dukies have enough money to keep him. We'll see. Maybe they do. All right, I'm going to end on this. You, I'm sure, heard the Pitino rant. You've been in locker rooms with the general. You've ranted. Here's my take on it. I'm not saying it wasn't great and it rallied the team. I'm not. But I'm going to dilute. I'm going to take some points away because it was part of that Red Storm Rising show. Right. He knew he was being recorded. The rants that are the best, and I don't like this either, are the guys that sneak the tape recorder, into night or something, and he doesn't know he's being recorded. Do you agree with me that it was a great rant, but he knew he was being televised because of the show, and maybe that dilutes it a hair?
Fantastic rant. Hit the salient points, knows his team well enough that he can ask, where were you raised? Some kids might get offended by that. But absolutely, when you go to rants, you always go to different guys. We go to Coach Knight's when the manager snuck a tape in the night before we were playing Purdue, and he's ranting to Greg Graham about we're not losing to Purdue. And then, of course, the videotape of him on the golf course where he's taking a pee, he's MF. No doubt about it. In fact, Don Donaher, the longtime legendary Hall of Fame coach, and I worked together for a year, and he had tapes of legendary rants of Tommy Lasorda and all. Those are great. But I will say this: I thought Pitino's what I got out of that was, man, he's got a good relationship with his kids. He does. They trust him. And when you can talk to kids in this day and age about how the hell did you grow up? Back in the day, you could say that. Like back in the day, you'd be like, whatever you want. I mean, I'm talking 30, 40 years. But now kids are sensitive to that. And I thought it was a great rant, but no, hell yeah. He was a showman. Come on. Yeah. You know that.
I remember the golf ones. I showed Carpenter the golf ones. He had never seen them. He can't get enough of them. And I will tell you the one line when he's always sponsored by like Pizza Hut or something. And Knight says he's ad-libbing. I don't know if he ad-libbed or anything. He goes, Pizza Hut is to pizza as Jack Nicklaus is to golf. And that was his tagline. But those are hysterical.
The better rant when that night, however night we found out that thing was out, he brought in 2 guys into our little locker room, and I was sitting there in the corner, and I've never heard a grown man, other grown men, like that. And I'm sitting there, and the guy's name was Bernie Sowers, rest in peace, great guy. He's about 2 feet tall, and I thought, man, at some point, if I'm Bernie, I got to stand up and punch this man for talking to me like that. I mean, it was unbelievable. But those are great rants. Yeah. But I love those things. And Pitino's was great. They're a really good team.
They are. He's a guy. He's got him on the 4 line right now. We'll see what happens. Yeah. All right, my man. Have a great show. Thanks as always.
Thank you, guys. Congrats again. Number 1, baby. I'm coming for you, though. See you guys.
You're the reason, man. You're the reason.
We're like the street prophets, Double D. We want the smoke. Come on, Double D.
And, we get him every week, so he's contributing. He's part of the team.
He got into his Matt Hardy bag, too, with the whole delete thing. Yeah, because Cooper Flagg was like, hey, I'm the guy.
He was so one of one that I think he was like, That's the obvious answer. Let me give you something else.
Yeah, you got to start with Coop. But he gave some good answers, that's for sure.
All right, we're coming back with a Buckeye Bulletin. And speaking of looking ahead, Coach Jake knows the bid is on the line. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
Welcome to Nada Yada Island.
Next on Metro's Nada Yada Island podcast.
I almost fainted when the 4 new bombshells arrived. 4 free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G phones at Metro.
No way.
And finding out the 4th line is free. Oh, things got heated.
That's wild. Join Metro and get 4 free Samsung 5G phones. Only at Metro.
Plus tax. Bring 4 numbers and an ID and sign up.